Yes! Alrighty! What's up, everybody? My peeps. What's going on, you sexy bitches and all you other pieces of garbage? It is I, your travel god of extreme, Peter Joseph, here for a late Friday afternoon, getting close to Friday evening and Friday night video, right here, on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down there. It's in there, in my pants. Excuse me, in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Show your love and support to channels. Leave a comment on the video if you like, but don't leave stupid comments because you'll get blocked, and if you don't like that, then cry to your mama, little baby bitch. So if you don't like it, tough shit. Everybody else wants to leave a comment about the topic at hand, you can do that. But like I said, be respectful of my rules and my channel, and if not, get off. Get off and get off my channel. Get out of here, go to somebody else's channel and do that shit, or go to your dead channel with 25 subs and nobody gives two fucks about it. Because you ain't gonna do it on mine. And that's pretty much it. Alright, follow me on social media, everybody. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. And most importantly, tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because you miss anything, you need to get slapped in the face, motherfuckers. Because you, yes you, are SOL. And I think you all know what that means by now. And if you don't know what it means, you need to get slapped a few more times to figure it out. And that's that. And for our first-time viewers, if you're watching for the first time, well, welcome to the party, pal! We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab a couple cookies on the right, get free drinks on the left. Well, get your own drink, because I ain't giving you any. But grab yourself a couple cookies. Grab yourself a cold one. Sit back, relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. And if you like it, great. You want to stay? Hit that subscribe button for more. Hit that bell for more so you don't miss one goddamn episode. And if you do, you're pretty much fucked. And, yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. So, once again, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good shit. And we move on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. It's the end of another week. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Something for the weekend. Yeah, I know I'm messing up Rebecca Black's fucking song. I don't give a fuck. But it's Friday, the 18th of July. So, we are under 2 weeks away from the end of July, and then we'll be starting those dog days of August. And pretty soon, we're 6 weeks away from the unofficial end of summer, which is Labor Day weekend, and then a couple weeks after that, we start fall. Most of you people are going to be going back to school pretty soon, in about another month or so. Back to school for you kiddies and all you other fuckers out there. Which for me, I don't have to do shit. Because I already graduated many moons ago. With my second degree. So, we move on with that. But yeah, school's gonna be coming back soon. Football season coming up in about 6 weeks. Really 7 weeks, but okay, we'll go with that. So lots of good stuff happening in the next 6-7 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Baseball's back tonight. The Mets, Los Mets de Nueva York, about to start their second half against the Cincinnati Reds at home at the better stadium in New York, and that's Citi Field. And the Skankies play JD's Braves, so I have to kind of sort of be a Skanky fan this weekend. Not that I care, because the Braves ain't going anywhere. There's so many games behind the Mets, so who cares? So, it's like I'm one of those, who gives a fuck who wins the series, you know what I mean? But we got that, so baseball is back to second half, and we'll see what happens with the Mets and Los Yankees de Nueva York coming up over the next couple months. Let me move on. Alright, we got SmackDown coming your way at the top of the hour. Should be a great show. We're gonna hear from Cody! MD Cody! You bitch! So Cody's, I think, supposed to start the program, so we're not gonna watch the beginning of the program, obviously. Just gonna come out and continue his little program with John Cena. Then you up to SummerSlam, which is gonna be on night 2. It was confirmed that is on night 2. Night 1 is CM Punk and Walter for the Raw World title. That's the main event for night 1. So, not bad. Not bad main events for night 1 and night 2 of SummerSlam. And there is a rumored steel cage match. I haven't had one of those at SummerSlam in a very long time. And it's going to be for the United States title, so you know what that means. Solo Mibuki and Jacob Jacob Fatu inside a solid steel cage, brother, for the United States title on, well, we don't know what night, but it's going to be in the cage. Hasn't been announced yet, but it's been rumored to happen at SummerSlam. We do know Naomi is defending her new Raw Women's Championship. Don't know what night either, probably on night 1. Against Mommy Rhea Ripley and my third amazingly hot Asian wife, the former champion, Io Sky. So basically, 3 matches have been announced, possible 4th with a steel cage match. And more to come on your 2-night, 4+ hour Cure for Insomnia in the Meadowlands, or in MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, which I'm not going to. And that's SummerSlam, or as Bret Hart would say, the SummerSlam. I don't know why we say that. Or somebody else used to say Summer Bash. That has a nice ring to it, though. When we move on. Alright, but we'll talk about we'll talk about SummerSlam. SummerSlam comes in a couple weeks. But we'll talk about SmackDown later. But right now, thanks for watching here on the Kill Demons channel. I'm Peter Joseph. You knew that already. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your late and kinda out of date return of TNA Impact Wrestling and a return of Ring of Honor Wrestling Reviews. Alright, for last night, July the 17th, 2025. Alright, let's get to Impact really quick, the go-home show before this Sunday night's Slammiversary event, the 23rd anniversary show. Got a big card, huge, in the USB Arena in Long Island, New York. We already know Trick Witty! Anybody see his new diss track? Not as great as Maku, or Average Joe, but pretty damn good. So Trick Witty would defend against Mike Santana. And say his name, and he appears. The guy has no aura. That's Joe Hendry. So we got that. We got Moose defending the X Division Championship against Leon Slater. We got the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy, dude. Alright, they're going to be in a fatal 4-way ladder match with the Nemeth brothers, Ryan and Nick. They're the Rascals, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, along with First Class, Flop Dollar, AJ Francis, and the returning KC Navarro. So that's going to be exciting. And also we got that double Women's Championship match, JC Jane, the NXT Women's Champion, going up against the TNA Knockouts Champion, Masha Slamovich. And a whole lot more Sunday night on the program at Slammiversary. We'll do the predictions on Sunday on episode number 78 of the Shadows Lair on my Shadows Lair channel. But we'll get to that Sunday. And the sun's in my face, it makes me feel happy. God is shining down his lovely. He's shining down from heaven. Okay. Moving on with that. And yes, I'm naked. No, I'm not naked, actually. I got clothes underneath. But just my shirt's off, but it is what it is. It's hot in here, god damn it. And I just came out of the shower, so we move on. Alright, let's get to Impact, the go-home show before its anniversary, and we are emanating from a different place this time, the UPMC Event Center in Schittsburg, Pennsylvania. No more Moon Township anymore. Now it's the Schittsburg tapings. And as always, our commentary team of Tom Phillips and Matthew Waywalt. That's in English. And we move on with that. Alright, so pretty good show last night. It's also with match number 1, the X Division champion in a non-title affair, as Moose comes out pretty much by himself. None of the system come out until a little bit later. But Moose takes on former World Heavyweight Champion himself, the crazy man himself, Sami Callihan. Alright. So this was a pretty decent match. Starts out with Moose whipping Sami into the corner. Then he whips Sami into the other corner. He charges to him, but Sami moved out of the way. Hits a Stone Cold Stunner for a near fall. And then Moose gets up, hits the spear. Goes for the cover, but Sami rolled out of the ring. Smart move by Sami, as he's about to lose. Moose runs around the ring. Sami catches him for a body slam. Then he throws Moose back into the ring. Looks for the Cactus Driver 97. Right? Remember that one, Mick? Oh, I remember everything. Sure you do. Anyway, so he tries for that. Moose shoves him off and hits the spear. 1, 2, 3. Pretty quick match. But Moose, he's got the momentum going for him. And see if he can, once again, beat Leon Slater. Since we know that he stole the title from Leon Slater after Leon Slater technically won the Ultimate X match back at Rebellion, but he didn't have full possession of the belt. You have to have basically 100% possession. It feels like football. So he had it, but then Moose speared him to death, dropped the belt, and then Moose grabbed the belt. Referee's like, oh, he won. So now we got a one-on-one match at its anniversary. I think Leon Slater is going to become the youngest X Division champion in company history. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, match was alright. 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, speaking of Leon Slater, Moose says that Leon Slater is stepping into the biggest match of his career at its anniversary. But for me, it's just another Sunday. After I beat Leon, I'm going to continue my dominance, become the longest reigning X Division champion of all time. Then he asks Sami Callihan, what the hell are you still doing in my ring? And he's like, you don't have it anymore, get the fuck out of here. You used to be the death machine, and now you're just a fat piece of shit. Damn. And basically tells Sami, you shouldn't even be working, wrestling anymore. You should be fixing up the boys in you should basically be in catering. I'm like, shit, for Sami Callihan? Really now? Come on now. So, he says, you should be in catering. Then he says, Sami, get your fat ass out of my ring. So Sami just doesn't give a shit. He leaves the ring. He rolls out of the ring. I think he was like half concussed or something like that. So he leaves the ring anyway. And then he introduces the system, Brian Myers, JDC, or Fandango, and Eddie Edwards, along with his hot wife, Alicia Edwards. And they basically come out. Sami just passes them by as he leaves. I'm surprised. Looks like Sami's pretty much, I don't know what's going on with Sami. Like, he took the loss and he gets fucking berated by Moose. Like, you're a fat ass, get your fat ass out of my ring. Old Sami Callihan wouldn't have took that shit. He would have got back in the ring, fucked Moose to death. Not like that, but he would have fucked Moose up. To the point where you wouldn't be talking about Moose anymore. They'd be picking up Moose's carcass on, in Pittsburgh somewhere. But not the same Sami Callihan I know. And I met the guy a long time ago. Moving on. Alright, after that, Order 4 makes their way out. That's Mustafa Ali, Tasha Steelz, and the Good Hands, Skylar and Hotch. So they're making their way out. Then the lights go out. Sabu! You? What? You're dead! What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop playing with the lights, alright? Stop playing with the lights, Terry! I wasn't playing with the lights! Not you, Terry. I meant the other Terry. Sabu Terry. Well, next time be specific. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna be nice to me today, Terry. You pissed me off yesterday, that's why. Because you messed up my line. I messed up your line? Yeah, you interrupted me saying, forever! Okay, I'm sorry, Terry. And then you bring the cactus out. Well, I can't help what goes on between you and Mick, okay? I'm sorry. So, what I think you should do, Terry, is apologize to Mick. I'm not gonna apologize to him! Terry, please! Say you're sorry! I'll get Sabu to kick your ass! Cactus! You remember all our matches in Japan? Yes, Terry, I do! You remember all the matches that me and Sabu had? Some of them I don't remember. Well then shut up! And leave me alone! Okay, Terry, I'll leave you alone. Sabu, I love you, man. Would you like a Dorito? Let me, will you stop with the Doritos? God damn. They're very tasty. I'm sorry. What, did you sponsor? No, not anymore. Because you fucked that up. I'm sorry. It's okay, I got Mikey Ripwreck to help me out. Mikey loves those Doritos, right, Cactus? Mikey loves those Doritos! Of course he does. Of course he does. Of course he does. And those Doritos suck, Mick! Oh, not now. You guys stop. No more fighting. I just wanted to tell Mick that I don't like those Doritos. Well, which one did you have? The Cool Ranch or the ketchup one? That was ketchup? I thought it was just like a hot, spicy Dorito. Yeah, it's ketchup. Ah, shit! Mae Young screwed me! Well, in more ways than one, right, Mike? Yeah! Okay. Don't get confused by those hot, spicy Doritos, because they could be ketchup flavored. Ugh. Why would you have nachos dipped in ketchup? It just... Ugh. Ugh. I mean, Cool Ranch is fine and dandy, but, you know... There's certain things you can't do with ranch, like put it on pizza. Ugh. Or chicken tendies. But we move on. Oh, so anyway. So Order 4 comes out, the lights go out, Dark State comes out. That's Cutler, Osiris Griffin, Dion Lennox, and Saquon Sugars. They come out and attack the system, just because of what happened on Tuesday on NXT. Brian Myers gets powerbombed, and then Mustafa Ali just watches from the stage. He's like, hey, look at this, I got nothing to do. So, I think they were gonna make a tag team match, or a 6-man tag team match, with Fandango, JDC, and Eddie Edwards to get on 3 members of Dark State at the pay-per-view. Not that it's gonna matter. But, what are you gonna do? Alright, so we got that. Let me move on. Alright, there we go to the back with the lovely, vivacious Gia Miller. She's backstage with my girl, used to be one half of Spitfire, multiple-time Knockouts Tag Team Champions. You know her, you love her. I wish I had more of her. That's my girl, Danny Luna. So, she's in the back, if I can get my notes back. There we go. I knew you could do it. Alright, so Danny says, I'm feeling pretty confident. The Knockouts division is the most competitive it's ever been, in many years, I might add. And she says she knows who she is and what she brings to the table. Then she says Tessa Blanchard is just another obstacle in her way to a possible knockouts title match. I wouldn't mind that. So, good promo from Danny. She's going to be in the New York area this weekend, so go see it. So I sent you. Alright, speaking of that, so we get to Tessa Blanchard, comes out with Alicia Fox. Takes on Danny Luna. It was a pretty good match. Danny got a lot of moves in. He hits a powerbomb for a near fall. Picks up Tessa for a lunar landing. Luna landing, but Tessa somehow got out of that. And then Danny climbs up the turnbuckle, but Tessa kicks her, hits a code breaker for a near fall. Then she goes up to the top rope, goes for the Magnum, not the condom, the Magnum, not the gun either. But she goes for the Magnum, Danny catches her, hits a Blue Thunder Bomb, and as we all know, if you're not Sami Zayn, you can get that too! Danny goes for another Luna landing, but Alicia Fox pulls Tessa down, I guess behind the referee's back, and then Tessa hits the Magnum, 1, 2, 3, your winner, racist Tessa Blanchard, in a pretty decent match, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, 2-on-1 beatdown on Danny Luna, and then Indy Hartwell comes out. She runs in, and, Tessa and Alicia Fox leave the ring, and then Indy gets to the mic, says, every friend that you've ever had, Tessa, has turned their back on you, and I know, she's like, I haven't known you for 6 years, but at Slammiversary, you are going to know who I am. I can't wait for that match. It's going to be a slobber knocker, if you will. And we'll see what happens with that. Moving on. Alright, then we get footage from the installation for the Iconics. Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. They had an autograph session 3 weeks ago. Why are we getting this now? But we see this footage from 3 weeks ago as they get into a brawl with Ash and Heather by Elegance, the Elegance team, or the Elegance brand, who are the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, and that's leading to their match at Slammiversary. Alright, so then we get a backstage promo from Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. They say they deserve the spotlight when they become the two-time TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. I hope they do. We shall see what happens with that. Alright, then more footage from NXT this past Tuesday where Masha Slamovich teamed up with Del Ruka, that's Sol Ruka and Delta, against Fatal Influence, JC Jane, my girl Jasmine Nix, and Fallon, don't call her, to the Dawn Henley in a 6-woman tag match, which saw Masha pin JC Jane. So we got that. And then the Elegance brand makes their way out, Ash and Heather, with George the Iceman at ringside. And Ash, Dana Brooke, says she got $5,000 because a $5,000 fine, basically, because of everything that happened. Well, that sucks. That's more money than you made in catering with Titus, right? Shit. So she says they submitted the footage to TNA management and edited the truth, right? And then, she says that, we should be talking more about her. No, not really. And says she's the #1 contender, because she won that Battle Royal, beat 19 other people in that 20-woman Battle Royal, to win the opportunity to face Masha, at a later date, obviously. She says that she has the divine right to take the Knockouts title, and then praises the Elegance brand as the most dominant female faction in pro wrestling history. The beautiful people want to talk to you? Or the Dollhouse wants to talk to you? You forgot about those two factions, right, Dana Brooke, you freaking moron? I don't forget, because I don't know everything about TNA, but I know from basically the good years, and the Dollhouse, which is a great faction, with, Jade, who was it, Jade, can't can't think of her name. It's off the tip of my tongue. Yeah. Can't think of it. I know it's Mia Yim and two other chicks. I think it was, oh yes, Marty Bell and Mia Yim, and, I was gonna say Tennille Dashwood, but that wasn't it. The other T, Tony, I can't remember her name, but she fought Gail Kim. We know who she is. We know. I can't think of her right now. But anyway. Former Knockouts Women's Champion, might add. That was a great faction. And then you had the Beautiful People, as we all know who they were. Velvet Sky and Angelina Love, and at one point Lisa Von Erich, who basically was there for a cup of coffee to look good, show her tatas, and then leave. But I don't think there's been any other female faction in TNA that I can recall, besides those two. I was thinking maybe the Hex of Marty Bell and Sienna. You talk about the Death Dolls, all you want. Rosemary Taya, and Jessica Havoc. That was a good faction. And in some ways, you had Rosemary and Ali the Bunny as a faction. You know, it was a two-person faction, tag team, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Ash, you forgot a couple of dominant female factions in TNA history. You forgot? You dumb bitch! Let me move on with that. Alright, we move on. Alright. And then JC comes out with Fallon, don't call it, Don Henley and my girl Jasmine Nix, scrumptious. So they make their way out. JC says, you know, her and Ash have known each other for a while. They have no problem with Ash. Well, they had no problem with Ash until Ash said they're the most dominant female faction in pro wrestling. Well, TNA. Well, if you want to count NXT, then yeah, you put Fatal Influence there. You put Toxic Attraction in there. And then a few others here and there. But, anyway. And JC says, when I beat Masha, become a double champion, I'm going to show you where Ash, I'm going to show where Ash stands. That's probably under my boot. Shit like that. Alright, get that. And then Masha's music hits. And then Ash and Heather, by Elegance, along with George Iceman, they leave. Like, oh, we're out of here. So Masha shows Dana Brooke out on her way to the ring. Like, get out of here. And then she's like, I don't know you. Masha says, I came to Brooklyn from Russia. You're damn right you did. You're damn right. I remember the first time I saw Masha was in 2015 in an old promotion called FSW. Then she was in FBW here in Brooklyn, which are both promotions are pretty much extinct now. It sucks. And she was really green. I hate saying it. She had a couple good matches, not very great matches, but she had that heavy Russian accent, like, you know, because she is Russian. But she had that, like, she was really green in the ring. She was trained under Joel Maximo and Amazing Red, if you forget, and a few others too. Basically at WrestlePro / Creator Pro. So she was trained by some of the best in Long Island and here in Brooklyn. But in any case, she says, I don't have any friends. JC says, well, have you looked in the mirror lately? You would understand why you don't have friends, because you're Masha. So Masha's like, I'll be damned if I let you come to my city, even though it's not your city. But if you come to my neck of the woods, and I let an outsider take the TNA title. Well, Trick Willie already did that, so I would assume JC's gonna do that too, but hopefully not. Then they face each other, they pose where they stick the belts, and that's pretty much it. So, I'm pretty much, I want Masha to win, but I'm gonna go with JC to shock the world a third time. It just feels like I said Mandy Leon, oh boy. By the way, she's from Brooklyn too. Hi, Mandy. Pizza, pizza, bitch. Shut up, Delirious. Anyway. Yeah. It feels like, it feels like Mandy all over again. When she was going for the NXT UK title, won that, came back to the States, and became the first ever NXT woman to hold 2 titles. Even though they don't, WWE, I don't know why WWE and NXT does not even say that about Mandy. I don't know why. Mandy's been saying it on Twitter for almost like months now. So they're gonna say, "Oh, JC's the first ever double champion." Wrong. That's Mandy. And you remember it. Alright, then we go to the TNA injury report by Bioflex. And Trey Miguel has a hernia injury. Casey Navarro is cleared from his knee injury, so he's medically cleared. Trey Miguel, we don't know yet. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, go backstage. Danny Luna is with Indy Hartwell getting tended to. Not like that, but anyway. Jody Threat comes up to her and says, "Hey, what happened?" And Danny seems annoyed. I don't know about if she's annoyed with Jody Threat, since they lost to Ash and Heather by Elegance, so they had a split Spitfire up. So I don't know if she still has some mutual hatred to Jody for that, or is she just pissed off? So I don't know. But a little Spitfire, kinda, sort of reunion. You love to see it. Alright, we got that. Moving on. Alright, then we get footage from the Great American Bash, where Joe Hendry and Santana took down Trick Willie at the contract signing before being attacked by Dark State. And then we saw what happened this past Tuesday on NXT, where they somehow teamed up. They kinda, sorta, coexisted. They faced Dark State, and then the system got into a brawl with Dark State. It was just a big mess near the end. Alright, we got that. Alright, then we get a video package from Mike Santana with and an audio recording of his father plays, who says he's proud of him, and that's basically it. Really sad little promo for Mike Santana, whose dad sadly passed away. I think when he was young, or we passed away. So very heart-wrenching little video. And I think Mike Santana is going to win the title for his dad. And I wish his dad would be there in Long Island this Sunday to see it. But he's going to be looking down from heaven, so. So we'll see what happens with that. But a good video. And we move on. Alright, match number 3. Whoops. Yeah, match number 3. Whoops. Alright, match number 3. Judas Icarus. Or Judas Icarus, or whatever. With the Northern Armory. That's EY. And Travis Williams. He takes on the hometown man, otherwise known as Cody Deaner. And Cody Deaner beats him. Really? Travis Williams tries to unmask him, because we all know it's Cody Deaner. The referee's like, no, no, no. And then Cody Deaner hits a suicide flippy dippity doo to Travis on the outside. Then he comes back in and hits sliced bread number 2 on Judas for the win. Big fucking whoop. 0. And then after the match, EY comes in the ring, and Cody Deaner leads through the crowd. So we know they're just going to do some ridiculously dumb match where Cody Deaner faces EY. If EY wins, and Cody gets unmasked and then gets fired, hopefully, gets out of TNA. We're going to do some weird, stupid fucking match. I care less at this point. We get that. Alright, something I don't care about. Another promo from My name is Enzo Amore, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. Alright, so another fourth rope promo from Enzo. He says, I would eat Joe Hendry alive and spit him out. Right. Then he says he's not all in. Uh-oh, really? He's not all in because the chip on his shoulder is worth more than any pile. And he says he's bringing Zila Fatu and a Bishop. No. So basically he's an MLW. So that means Zila Fatu, I believe was or is the MLW World Heavyweight Champion. And Bishop, we all know as Mr. Baron Norman Corbin. Oh, baby. I can't wait for that. I hate Enzo as it is, but I really want to see Zila Fatu acknowledge him. Another Samoan, obviously, from the bloodline. So we're going to see Zila, who should be, you know, coming into the WWE pretty soon, along with Lance Anoy, along with Thaddeus, or Dallas, whatever his name is, big fat Yokozuna-looking guy. So, more Bloodline members! Yay! Coming into WWE over the next few years. Can't wait for that. And many more to come. It seems those Samoans don't even know how to use a condom. Shit. I know Roman just had a kid. He had a kid. I think his third or fourth kid with his hot wife. Let on that pipe, my tribal chief. Should have been Issa, but that's another story for... I'm sorry, that's another story for a long time. You know, Issa, would love to have Roman's 6 million kids, but, Or she gets pregnant on sight of Roman Reigns. She has, octuplets and shit. I mean, when I see Asuka, Kairi, Io, Maki Ito, motherfucker, and Mina, my dick gets hard and, I have to get a new pair of pants and shorts. My balls just explode every time I see those chicks. It is what it is. But anyway, yeah, so Enzo says, I'm coming to Slammiversary, but I'm not coming alone. I'm bringing Zila Fatu and Bishop Baron Corbin. I can't not wait for that. Now, what role, during the show they come in? I would say they come in near the end of the show, and maybe something phenomenal might happen. Stay tuned for near the end of the show for when that stuff happens. It's going to be an amazing show. Darius said it might beat out All In. It might beat All In as the show of the summer, of July. Alright, we got that. We'll see. Alright, after that, we got a backstage promo from Steve Maclin, the Intercontinental Champion. He says, I will take on anyone from any country internationally. And basically says, I'm holding the line here in TNA. So we'll see who his next opponent might be. I thought he was going to have a match at Slammiversary. Obviously not. Alright, we move on with that. Alright, then, out of nowhere, Matt fucking Cardona. I don't know why you give him a mic, but he gave him a mic. Woo, woo, woo. You blew it. So he says a few weeks ago, he got laid out by Dark State. Yay! Then he tells Dark State, I'm here and I'm always ready. Well, that's not what Chelsea Green said last night. Chelsea Green! Sucks to be you, Matt fucking Cardona. You fear that guy named Mittens. Fuck him, by the way. Anyway, moving on. Alright, so then we get an impromptu match, which didn't last that long. Matt Cardona taking on Jake Painter. They lock up, the lights go out, Dark State shows up, and they basically beat the fuck out of Jake Painter. So this match went nowhere. Basically a no contest. So they look to do the same to Matt freaking Cardona, but then Brian Myers, his major bros, former teammate, he comes out, tries to attack them, and then Darkslade gets the better of it, tries to powerbomb Brian Myers, but then Eddie Edwards and Fandango come out, and Darkslade just leaves the ring. So it looks like we're going to have possibly a six-man tag or an 8-man tag, whether it be at Slammiversary or it's going to happen on next week's program or sometime soon. But I'm thinking it's going to be a 8-man because you got JDC, Brian Myers, Cardona, and Eddie Edwards taking on Dark State, which is 4-4, so they get 8. So there you go. That makes more sense than having a 3-on-3 with just 2 guys outside. It is what it is. So we got that. Alright, then we go to the Hardy Boys. We got Broken Matt Hardy, yes! Wonderful! And his brother, who's a few months sober, you gotta love that. And that's Jeff Hardy, dude! Alright, so they come out. Matt thanks everybody for living their dream for 33 freaking years, kind of like with Edge, 33 years too. Thank you, Hardy chant breaks out. Matt says this love has kept them doing this for 4 decades, pretty much the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. They're the only tag team to hold championships across those 40 years. It's one of the best tag teams in wrestling history. Not the best, but one of. And if you want my all-time greatest tag teams of all time, I have to look up. It's on my old TGC Reborn channel or the Shadow Slayer .1 channel. I forgot what number it is, but yeah, I probably, if I find it, I will. I'll put it up on my community tab on my Shadow Slayer channel, so you can all see it. And that's pretty much it. All right. So anyway. Blah, 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 blah. So he says, him and Jeff wanted to look in the mirror and say they are at the top of their game. They would never be the show of the team they used to be back in the 90s. And then we get a "You still got it" chant. And Matt says, we don't want to overstay our welcome. Since losing the TNA Tag Team titles to the Nemeth brothers, they've lost a few matches, and then Jeff's like, yeah, you lost a flop dollar. Remember that? Ooh. Then Matt says, yeah, don't remind me. So then Matt says, we're going to make a promise to ourselves. Then Jeff says, if we do not win the TNA Tag Team titles in that Fatal 4-Way ladder match at Slammiversary, maybe it's time to pack up the Hardy Party and say goodbye. But then Leon Slater comes out and says, I can't believe I'm hearing this. And I'm not saying this as a fanboy or anything like that. He's like, I respect you. We teamed up for 6 months. And, this and that. Thank you guys for, my childhood and shit like that. So then Matt Hardy says, Leon, you need to focus on becoming the youngest TNA X Division champion in history. Leon says, I need you guys to focus and being the Hardy Boys that I knew growing up. And then he says, you are the greatest tag team of all space and time. And then First Class comes out, Flop Dollar and Casey Navarro, and Age is like, hey, this isn't the year 2000! And the Hardy Boys, if this was 10 years ago, actually it was 2000, he would have been 10 years old, and Casey Navarro would have been basically sperm or something. He would not have been born yet. So Matt tells Leon, get out of the ring. And the fans start chanting, you can't wrestle. I guess it's AJ Francis. AJ says they're worried about the Rascals and the Nemeth brothers. And the Hardys are not even the best brother tag team in TNA. I beg to differ with that. So then, on cue, Ryan and Dolph Ziggler come out. So Dolph says, maybe they've forgotten who put butts in seats around here. Says, you're looking at the best brother tag team in wrestling. And then Ryan gets on the mic, says, we're going to be champions forever. I don't know about that. Then he says, his big brother and him have been in more ladder matches than any of them. I don't know about that. But anyway. And then he says, my big brother and I been in more ladder matches than any of you. Then he started attacking the Hardys. Then the Rascals come out. Zachary Wentz. And, Zachary Wentz, I think Trey Miguel came out. So he gets a sleeper on AJ Francis. Then the Hardys attacked Ryan and Dolph Ziggler and AJ Francis with a ladder. And then the Hardys climb the ladder and then they go, ah! And they pose. Possibly for the final time in TNA. So we'll see what happens Sunday. It's going to be a banger. But I'm going to go with the Nemeth brothers to retain. As much as I love the Hardys, but, you know. It would be nice to get the Rascals, the tag team titles back. Flop Doll and AJ, tag team champions. Which we want to vomit. And we move on with that. Alright, then Tom Hannafin and Matthew Waywalt run down the call for Slammiversary. And that leads us, I believe, to our main event. The King, Frankie Kazarian, teams up with Trick Willie Shamon to take on Joe Hendry. I ain't backing down from the Wary Joe. And Mike Santana. Alright, this was a pretty fun match. But in the end, it was a long match too. But in the end, Joe Hendry gets the hot tag, comes in and cleans house, hits a Gilmore Casa, bang, on Kaz, followed by a fallaway slam. Then another one, the Trick Willie. Then he does his stare down. And then he stares down Mike Santana. Teases a standing ovation, but then Santana's like, nope, no, you ain't doing that shit. Tags in. And hits spin the block on Kaz for the win. So the match was pretty good. And then afterwards, there's a big old fight between Trick, Mike, and Joe. And Joe accidentally hits Mike Santana. Oops. And then they're about to go at it, but the security had to stop them. And then while this is happening, Trick really gets on and he's like, hey, I'm the champ! And we get that. We get that. And you thought it was over, but no! We get a teaser for Slammiversary where we see the TNA treasure chest and it flashes like magic. And then inside this treasure chest, we see a certain logo, and we see like flashes of pictures of AJ Styles. Ah! Bam! So AJ Bad Hair Styles will be at Slammiversary this Sunday. I can't wait for that. I hope he comes out with his old theme. Like, not the first theme, the second theme. Get ready to fly! I am! You know. Or, would they dare use his New Japan theme? I don't know if they can, because Tony Khan basically, you know, has a little deal with Mr. Tanahashi-san. And I don't know if Tanahashi-san would let a rival company like TNA use another, you know, use their theme song. I don't even know if AJ owns that theme. I hope he does. It would have been nice for AJ to, when he debuted at the Royal Rumble many years ago, it would have been nice if he used that theme. But I think because WWE and New Japan did not, at the time, have a business relationship, he couldn't use that theme. And now, if AJ would have went to AEW, which he should have, I bet you nothing AJ would have used that theme. It is a banger theme, by the way. But I would love to see like in a main event, like after the main event, like whoever wins, like Mike Santana wins the title, and he gets beat up by Trick Willie, and he gets beat up by Joe Hendry. Then we hear the music of "Get ready to fly," and everybody's like, "Ah!" everybody's going completely berserk. And freaking AJ comes out, and he's like... And then he hits a phenomenal forearm on Trick Willie, or he hits a Styles Clash with Spiral Tap. The entire Nassau Mausoleum would go apeshit, and everybody watching along in a bar or on YouTube would be going completely berserk. But man, I can't wait for Sunday, man, to see AJ Styles back in the TNA ring for the first time in like 10 years, at least. 9-10 years. The last time we saw him in a TNA ring was when he lost to a guy named Nick Aldis, otherwise known as Magnus, that whole Dixie Carter thing. Before Dixie Carter's TNA went bye-bye, but you know. Good old AJ. And AJ was wasn't in it, but like, he was in it for like maybe a little while. Aces and Eights. He was in it for like a little, like part of the show, and then he's like, "Well, fuck you, Bully Ray," and that's that. And yeah, we shall move on from there. All right, so that was a phenomenal, no pun intended, ending to TNA Impact last night, and I gave Impact 7.25 out of 10 stars. Amazing show. A phenomenal show, if you will. Heavens to Megan Troy. You know. Alright, we got that. Alright, now, before we get to SmackDown, let's go to your Ring of Honor review. And this is the aftermath of Supercard of Honor, which no titles really changed hands except for the interim Women's TV Championship, which was won by Mina in that interim fatal four-way match, kind of like what the men did with the TNT title, which Dustin Rhodes won. We're going to hear from him tomorrow on Collision. Mina is sadly hurt. No, I didn't have nothing to do with it. I know I lay down that pipe for that pussy on Mina, but, it wasn't my fault. Mina hurt her hand. Gotta be easy when you jerk the super cock. Rosa knows all about that. She hurt her hand one time. But then again, it might have been when she was slapping the crap out of me. I don't know. I think she when she was on top of me, she was like, going to town. She's like, bam, slap. Who's your mommy? I am. You are. Okay. Not about that. But yeah, Mina is sidelined right now with a broken hand, so she's gonna be out of action for not too long. But I would say about a week or two. But Sayuri, who came over from Stardom, she got hurt in that Casino Battle Royale. She hurt her elbow, and she's going for elbow surgery, so she's gonna be out a couple months. So she debuted, and now she's on the injury list. Sucks. I made my debut and I'll be out for another 6 months. Or 4 months, or whatever long she's gonna be out for. But yeah, we move on with that. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna move on with that. So hopefully we're gonna get to our Ring of Honor review. We had Angelico taking on Hikaisaro in the Battle of Ericos. But a women's match. We're leading into, coming out of Supercard, we're leading into, pretty much going through the summer, into Death Before Dishonor, which I think is in early September, right after Labor Day. That's going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, sometime in September. I think it's September the 12th or something like that. So we're going to be leaning into that. And then pretty much after Death Before Dishonor, we're on the road, a long road, the final battle in the Hammer Scene again. And yes, I will be there. Whether you like it or not. Because you're not going to come. But we have that. I got a guy named Pete. He's on the match game. I'm going to take a trip to the winner's circle. Alright, I don't... And, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Try to get my notes loaded, and as always, when I get my notes loaded, they don't load. So I gotta, skedaddle with this. Anyway, some little ratings news, if you will. Dynamite barely beat NXT this week by 2,000 views. Dynamite got 688,000 views. NXT got 686. So a smidge win for AEW this week. Raw on Netflix did with number 8. They did 1.4. So see what happens with Collision this week and what their rating might be. Probably in the 300s, 400s. I mean, we'll have to see what happens with that. All right, now my Ring of Honor results came in. All right, so this starts the Garland, Texas tapings, as they taped it this past week. Last week, really. Anyway, so we are from the Curtis Cowell Center, where Supercard was held. The Curtis Cowell Center in Garland, Texas, and as always, our commentary team of Ian Ricka Boring and my good friend, the Pasta, Caprice Coleman. Alright, like I said, no new world champ, all the champions retained except for Mina, who won the interim women's TV championship. So we get that. So we see commentary, so we're taped. Sometimes you don't see them, I don't know why, but anyway. So we get a quick recap of Supercard. And then we previewed the night's festivities and the matches. We start with match number 1. Lee Johnson taking on Atlantis Jr., the former TV champion. And we saw his father, Atlantis, put up a good fight against the pure champion, Lee Moriarty. And Lee Moriarty retained after, I believe he made Atlantis tap to the Border City stretch. But anyway, Lee Johnson comes out with his good buddy Blake Christian, Mr. Vanilla Midget himself. Had about a 6.5 minute match, but in the end, a Death Valley driver gives Lee Johnson a near fall. Tries to go for a powerbomb, couldn't hit it, and then Atlantis Jr. hits a Mexican Destroyer essay. Then he goes on top, hits the Eddie Guerrero frog splash. What do you think about that, Eddie? He was okay, but, I do better. I know. There's nobody hits that Guerrero frog splash like me, because I'm Eddie Guerrero ese perro. Who is this Atlantis guy? He's the son of the legend, you know him, Atlantis. Is that the guy who rules the underworld, they say? No, that's Aquaman. Oh, Atlantis, he runs Atlantis, but it's a different Atlantis, Eddie. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was some gringo. Oh. The only gringo you know is Rey Mysterio. Well, I hate that guy. Okay. He's a pendejo. I know. Anyway, so Lee Johnson gets the win. And we move on. With the take that back. Atlantis Jr. gets the win after a frog splash, and we move on. Alright, then we see, speaking of the Pure Champion, Lee Moriarty is the longest reigning Pure Wrestling Champion. I think he's been over a year now. A year plus. And wants to become the face. The face, you understand, of Ring of Honor. Well, I don't know about that. You have to get past a few other people to get that, but we move on. Alright, then we get a look at my fourth amazingly hot Asian wife, Mina. And I gotta change the channel to channel 5, channel 5, because I'm not on that channel anymore. USA. Oh, John Wick 2. Nice. I've seen all of them. Yeah, let's just take a run through Central Park and go back to the Continental. Why not? With the dog. Alright, so we got that. Alright, so Lee Moriarty is the longest reigning champ, and he wants to become the face of Ring of Honor. Alright, then we can look at Nina winning the interim women's TV title in that fatal 4-way match. But then she got injured in the Casino Battle Royale on Saturday. Or last Saturday, because this was last Friday. No word on what that actually might mean. Is she gonna keep the title? Is she gonna have to give it up as well? Like she won it and has to give it up right away? I hope not. Because who would want an interim women's TV champion? Because Mina can't defend the belt because she has a broken hand. So we'll have to see what happens with that. We'll probably find out more information maybe tomorrow on Collision or next week on Dynamite. But, you know, I'm making sure my fourth wife is getting the care she needs with the ice packs, you know, no more, you know, huggy-tuggy. What's going on here? Oh, damn. What the hell just happened? Is that Danny Storm? That guy looks like Danny Storm. He dressed up as a cop. So it looks like we got into an accident where MFT got into a car accident with, it looks like Jimmy Uso. So there's Cody, Solo's there. I think it's Tonga. Well, who's that? Cool. Yeah, it's Tonga has his eye all busted wide open. Coolio's there with JC Mateo. So something had to happen when there was some type of car accident in that dreaded parking lot, and looks like Tongaloa got the worst of it. So I don't know what happened. So, and then we just see Cody just show up. Alright, so Cody's going to sign the contract tonight to face John Cena. I don't know if Cena's going to be on the show tonight, but wild and crazy start to SmackDown from wherever they are. Oh, they're from, where are they from? Oh, they're from San Antonio, Texas, the hometown of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Hey, fuck the goat. No, we didn't. We got that. Alright, now, as we're doing a live look-in, we got Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss, with her doll Lily. Charlotte Flair comes in with a shirt that says "We're not friends." We're not best friends. And Charlotte looks like she's gonna be in action tonight. I don't know about Lexi. And Lexi's like, I don't want to hear anything from you. So Charlotte says, I went to Adam Pearce and got us a tag team title match at SummerSlam. And that's with Roxanne Perez and Roxy, so we might get tag team champions there. Who's that in the back? Well, it's Julia. I see Julia with somebody in the back. I did see Julia with the Women's United States Championship. I couldn't tell who was next to her. So it seems like Lexi's all happy. They get a tag team title shot coming their way at SummerSlam, whatever night that might be, against Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. We could see new tag team champions, but can they coexist again? That remains to be seen. Alright, so now Charlotte, with her cheerleader, Miss Bliss. You know, it would have been funny she went back to that gimmick back in NXT, where she came out with the glitter. So kind of little sort of NXT reunion there. Yeah, let me get my robe. And a stupid pyro. It's on the Queen. Looks like a blue peacock. Anyway. Yay, you're the best! You're a bitch with small breasts! No. Anyway. Alright, so who's Charlotte facing tonight? I don't even know. Alright, now they actually put a graphic up for the women's tag team title match at SummerSlam, either on Saturday or Sunday. Probably be on, I would put it on Sunday, but I'm not the booker. So. Alright, so we got that. Alright, we'll see who Charlotte's going to be facing in a minute. Yeah. Hold the ropes up, Eddie Ortega, you bastard! Is that Eddie Ortega? No, it's the other guy. Oh, that's the other guy. I thought it was Eddie Ortega. Or just some random person. Ha! In the big old ears. That's nice. That's funny. So Lexi's doing the pom-poms behind her head, and then Charlotte's like, fuck, get the fuck out of here. She like shoved her almost out of the ring. That's funny. Kind of reminds me of some tag teams you might know that kind of didn't want to coexist, and then they actually did. Who's she taking on? Raquel? She's taking on Raquel? Wow. Alright, so Raquel Rodriguez taking on Charlotte Flair, two hot Spanish ladies, because, yeah, Charlotte speaks Spanish. You know, from experience with Andrade, and Roxanne Perez, another Spanish chick. Not so much her hometown, I don't think. Anyway, she's looking fine, as always. This should be an interesting little matchup to start SmackDown. And we have the seconds at ringside. And we've got two people looking like Hogan, brother. Damn. There's some good-looking women in that ring besides Charlotte. There's three out of the four ladies in that ring. I'd fuck. I mean, I don't give a shit. I let Raquel Rodriguez pin me. I don't give a shit. Lexi, she can use her evil witchcraft on me. And then Roxy, it's Roxy. Even if she's 23 years old, I still bang her. Because she's legal. But I digress. So I only go for people that are 18 up. So. But in any case, we move on. Yeah. Alright, so we'll see what happens with Mina going back to Ring of Honor results, and that's it. Alright, then we go to the quickie matches of the night. Diamante of LAX. She takes on Maya World. Not my world. No, not that Jeff Jarrett song. You're in my world! No, Maya World. We've seen her on Ring of Honor here and there. Doesn't really win much, but... Anyway, Diamante won with the code red. And, basically a squash match in just under 2 minutes. You'd love to see it. We get that. So we get that. So Diamante gets the win, and Big Bang Boop Boop. Flippy Dippity Doo by Charlotte. Okay. I am strong. I am a horse face. And here comes Roxy. And Miss Bliss is like, oh, you ain't gonna do that shit. They're the same height. It's just sad. Freaking Lex is like, what, 5'2", 5'1", 5'2". Roxy's like 4'10", 5 feet, 5'1" maybe. I'm taller than her, than those lovely ladies. But Raquel can probably like dwarfs over me. Same thing with Charlotte. But speaking of Charlotte, she just got sent right into the ring post. Ow! Alright, we got that. Alright, after that match, we go to some ad for the MXM Collection's perfume line called Seed. Seed by MXM Collection. I wonder if it smells good or it smells like a seed. I wonder what kind of seed. Don't answer that. Not seed, well. Mustard seed? No. No? You know what it won't smell like? Arrogance! Nothing smells greater than arrogance. Nothing. Rick Martel would tell you. The man who should be in the Hall of Fame. Another guy who should be in the Hall of Fame. Rick the Model Martel. By himself and with Chico Santana as Strike Force. With probably one of the greatest themes in the 80s. Girls in Cars. You know, from Power Driver to Wrestling Album 2. You know, another songs on that album is Job So Bro with the Reverend Slick. Gonna get my Kentucky Fried Chicken and listen to Power Driver, the Wrestling Album 2. God bless Rick Derringer for the songs on that album. Or two songs. Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, the remake with Hogan and Mr. Tutti Frutti Man himself. Mean! Woo! Back God Keen! And then he did Demolition for Demolition, of course. And that was the last time he actually did a song for the WWE. Which kind of sucks. So basically he got Death Rebel out. Alright, after that, we're going to look at Dustin Rhodes becoming a triple champion, winning the TNT title at Supercard, with a look at his quest to win the TNT title over the years. He was this close and they never pulled the trigger with him, and finally, you know, basically Dustin had to have Adam Cole, baby. Sadly, Adam Cole, baby, got a concussion, so that's the only way that Dustin got the belt. Because he's a company guy. Could have gotten it to Fletcher still, but I still think that Fletcher's gonna get that belt from Dustin or somehow, somewhere other than that. You know, but yeah, just sad that Adam Cole had to give up the belt due to another concussion, and who knows if he's gonna come back again. I say probably not. I don't know how many concussions Adam Cole's had. He's probably had almost as more than a certain, well, besides, he's probably had less concussions than Benoit, less than Bryan Danielson, and less than a guy from the hockey named Pat LaFontaine. Remember that, Ranger fans and Icelander fans? You know that fully well. I think he had like 7 or 8. I think, you know, whiny boy Sidney Crosby's had more concussions too. So, and you say wrestling is fake. You're fake for thinking that. We'll move on. We get that. Alright, a humble promo from, well, we get the promo from Dustin. Can't believe he won. And his dad, the American Dream, baby, Dustin Rhodes. I love the Bacon Baby. I love my sons, Dustin and Cody, baby, Bacon Baby, if you will. So, his dad told him to always keep going, and he wants to carry the title for as long as he can, probably like a month or two. And, yeah, it was a very humbling promo from the natural Dustin Rhodes. Not Dusty Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, we'll get that. Alright, then we get to a match that I actually liked, even though it was short, under 6 minutes. But Machismo, ooh, yeah! Jay Lethal takes on Ocean Spray's boy from Red Pro, that's Michael Oku, with the lovely Amila at ringside. Ooh, she looked good. Red Pro title not on the line. I forgot he won that. Not that I follow Red Pro, but we know the women's champion is Mercedes Money, or as Tony Storm would call it, Mercedes Money. But that title's going to probably go bye-bye pretty soon. Along with the TBS title. And the CMLL women's title. And every other belt that she has. The only belt you're out left is the Owen Hart belt, which really isn't a title. He just gave you a belt because you won. It's not a title. You're not defending it. So, moving on. Alright, so great match. In the end, Jay Lethal got the win, and he lost I believe he lost last week on the program. I forgot to who. But anyway, Oku hits a triangle drop kick, which is one of Lethal's moves, for a nice little touch. Back in the ring, I was on the outside of the ring. Back in, Jay Lethal grabs a pair of ghillie cutters. Bam! Bang, bang, bang. Then he sets up for the, ooh, yeah, lethal injection. 1, 2, 3. The former world and TV champion, Black Machismo. Ooh, yeah, did it. He gets the win. And then, you love to see it, a code of honor. You love that. Great match, though. Great match. Not great, but great. That's it. Let me move on. Alright, something not so great. The Frat House. That's Griff Garrison. 2 Dimes. Yeah, 2 Dimes. And Preston Vance and Company. And Jack Jameson. They're all upset about losing a Supercard of Honor during the pre-show to, I think, the Dark Order and Company. But they go to the bar anyway to drink. Why not? Alcoholics! Moving on. Alright, they're going to look at Bandito S.A. The Ring of Honor champion who retained his belt against Takeshita. And then we saw Hikesaro looks like he's next in line. So, we got that. Speaking of Hikesaro, he takes on Angelico, Rocky Romero S.A., and Serpentico, the seconds at ringside. Match wasn't great. 6.5 minute match. We get a lifting downward spiral, gives Angelico a near fall, but then Rocky Romero S.A. causes a distraction, which lets Hikesaro hit a DDT, and then a spinning backbreaker finishes and gets the win. Alright, so Charlotte Flair got the win over Raquel Rodriguez, I guess with help from Lexi. And then pom-poms! Whoop! I lost my pom-pom. Roxy tried to get involved, and Charlotte kicked her right in the face. And then Lexi smacks her with the pom-pom, and then smacks her with her forearm. And then Charlotte with a kind of like a fruit roll-up for the win. And now we're going to get one of these things. Do it! Yeah, they did it. They did it! Yay, they coexisted! Alright, we got that. Alright, Adam Pearce is here, trying to find out what happened with the accident. Now they come up to the cops in San Antonio. One guy looks like freaking Danny Storm, but it's not Danny Storm, obviously. It looked like him, but it's not, because Danny's got a show this weekend, so. But in any case, so somebody's a person of interest, so might be Jacob Fatu. So speaking of Jacob, they come up to Jacob. Are they going to arrest him? Let's see if they arrest him.
Hey, wrong with you punk-ass police? What you even do now?
Calm down. I'm not going down with you punk-ass police.
Well, hold on a second. What about you, fam? Let's answer the questions, not maybe any worse than it already is, okay?
Alright, so Jacob is going to get questioned by, San Antonio cops about who ran into Solo and MFT's car. Has that, who ran over Stone Cold type thing that we found out as Rikishi. I did it for the Lock. I did it for the people. I did it. Ah, shut your fat ass, you thong-wearing fatty! Who ran into them? If it's not Jacob, then who else is it? Jimmy? Possibly. Then again, maybe whoever was driving the truck was kind of like, Don't know. Alright, so we got that. We move on. Alright, so Hikesaro beats Angelico in this boring as fuck match. And that ended the show we got a post-match beatdown on Angelico, and then Hologram, the man is undefeated. I think he's like 27, 28-0. He comes out, makes the save, and that's basically it. So, 3 matches on like a half-hour, almost hour show. What are you gonna do? That's how Ring of Honor is. 3 matches and we're out of here. It would have been a good taping. Alright. We're going to take Ring of Honor, and then everybody goes home now. Alright, 3 matches, a couple of segments, we're out of here in an hour. We gotta get the ring tear down. They're gonna kick us out pretty soon. But anyway, we got that. So, decent episode of Ring of Honor, and I gave it a pretty standard 6 out of 10. So 6 out of 10 for Ring of Honor, and for TNA last night, 7.25 out of 10 stars, because it was a great show. And that's all I gotta say about that. Alright, I'm gonna watch the rest of SmackDown, and then I will do, later on, we're gonna do Raw and SmackDown for that ace. So we got a 2-for-1 special here on the channel. So video number 2, which would have been 2 and 3. So I'm gonna do video number 2 later tonight, your Raw and SmackDown review here on the channel. And then tomorrow, I will not be around at all, because I will be in Jersey with the missus and some friends. We're gonna hang out, play some slots in Jersey, go to the beach. You know, it's gonna be a little bit cloudy, might rain, so we might just stay inside, play the slots for a while, and then just chill. And then we're going to go party! We're gonna go boogie! We're gonna go to the nightclub, or go do something. We're gonna do something in Jersey, and then we're gonna come right back. So I will not be back until late Saturday night. So if I do a video Saturday night, which probably might be Collision, it might be late Saturday night, but I'm probably gonna scrap that and just take Saturday off. And then Sunday, we'll talk about Collision. We'll talk about we'll do Collision. We'll do predictions for Slammiversary, and if we have time, your Slammiversary review. And then we start another week, and we have no pay-per-views until the first unofficial weekend of August, which is SummerSlam weekend. So that's a big week. Not next week is fine. The week after that is a little bit busy with Raw, the Raw go-home show before SummerSlam, NXT, Dynamite, which I think is from Chicago, with I think the final show in that residency. Thursday night we got Ring of Honor and TNA. Friday night SmackDown, August 1st, excuse me. That's the night before. They're showing MetLife Stadium right now. Who's gonna host SummerSlam August 2nd and 3rd. That's a Saturday and Sunday night. So we got that, plus whatever, all the stuff that's happening before that. Oh, SummerSlam from basically Thursday on, with the meet and greets and stuff like that. The kickoff show, which is probably going to be in Jersey somewhere, maybe at the Prudential Center, or maybe in MetLife Stadium. Who knows? But we got that. And then SummerSlam's going pretty much, I don't know when Collision's going to be, but we got that. Who's this? Tiffy time! It's Tiffy time! Daddy!
Tiffany and I both grew up in the game.
Gee.
We both have friendships destroyed. We both won gold. The difference is, only one of us have kept it.
Tiffy doesn't have most for her makeup.
My father betrayed.
Beat that bitch down, here we go. Ow! Ow! Super jaded from, over the weekend. Crazy.
Time after time, I've been underestimated. I'm just another dumb blonde. I'm naive. I'm too confident. I'm inexperienced. I've heard it all. But guess who's standing here as the WWE Women's Champion?
I'm watching this, I'm sorry.
Not Trish Stratus. Not Nia Jax. Not Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, Tiffy retained over Trish Stratus. So we got that. Anyway, I'm going to let this promo go. I'm not going to get all of it because I don't want to get a copyright claim. Anyway, so I'm out of here. We're going to watch the rest of SmackDown, the rest of this promo and everything else. So once again, for those of you just watching and tuning in, 6 out of 10 for Ring of Honor, 7.25 out of 10 stars for TNA. And we'll see what happens at Slammiversary this Sunday night. And that's it. Alright, I'm out of here. Until next time. Peace.